Everyone, this is Arcadius, and welcome back to Naval. Today we will be reviewing the first world mission, but before that, it is update day, so let's see what we have that came out. So there's three major things. Well, two major things, and then one is like a conglomerate of things that happened. So first, we have a new sister ship, and that is for the O class. I have renamed her Lean, and the sister ship I have now renamed her Mains. And I really love this camo. It is absolutely gorgeous. Such a beautiful camo. And the ship is really nice too. I don't play her as often as I don't like to, but she's definitely a fun ship. And they even added a change to her. She has an additional module for her 15-inch guns. You can now, once you equip them, increase your fire control precision, so you can actually make them just a little bit more accurate as well. Other than that, there's not much difference here, but you can only equip this one with the 15-inch. So if I equip the 11.1s, as you can see, I cannot equip this one at all. So something interesting there. Yeah, I love this ship a lot. Next, we are able to preview Renown, the newest Tier 7 British battlecruiser. And honestly, I don't really know how I feel about her. So first, let's just take a look at her. So we have the twin 15s up front, we have one twin 15 in the rear, and we have a bunch of 114 dual purpose secondaries along the side here. We have a catapult and some assorted AA around the superstructure. So on paper, she doesn't actually look like much, though I should also tell you, this is a Repulse, and this is Renown, so she's actually a lot smaller in size. So let's see, you can just kind of look at the general stats here. We're not going to fully go over her until she's released, but her guns have a pretty decent rate of fire. She's going to have the armor piercing of the British battlecruisers. She's gonna have torpedoes, which if you actually look at the torpedo stats, I don't know if this is accurate, but it says she has 8 twin torpedo mounts, with a really good rate of fire as well. But we'll see once she actually comes out. Decent range. Speed is meh, but I'm assuming she's going to get a speed boost considering she's a battlecruiser. This is actually the first British battlecruiser that's for prisms, because we have Rodney, which is a battleship, we have Duke of York, which is also a battleship, and Temeraire, which is a battleship. So there are other battlecruisers such as Canada, and Tiger, but none that have been out for prisms yet. One last thing for Renown, I did look at the preliminary anti-aircraft stats because she's supposed to have really good AA, and it stands true. She actually has almost as much AA as West Virginia or Maryland, as I have her renamed. So hopefully we'll have some really good AA stats with her. However, considering she's a long, fast ship, she won't be turning as good as Maryland. But then again, she's faster than Maryland, so it's kind of a drawback there and an advantage. Alright, so the last major thing that came out with this update, and I'm not going to go through all the smaller details, but the changes to the 9.6 and a couple 8.5 cruisers that I mentioned a couple or like last week or sometime earlier, that has now been placed into effect. So Ibuki, Worcester, Des Moines, as well as the Space Des Moines, Lean herself, Magdeburg, Minotaur, I don't think Neptune, and then Alanevsky and Kostroma all have had changes to their armor, gun range, rate of fire. Some even had changes to their maneuverability. And Worcester was actually even increased from a 9.4 matchmaking to a 9.6 matchmaking, which honestly makes a lot more sense. I'm not quite sure why she was at a 9.4. It's a weird kind of number. But those are the major changes, and there's changes to like armor, uh, and just yeah. If you are able to look at the Facebook page and the developmental diaries on the Naval Creed Facebook page, you can see all the stats there. It's just a long laundry list, and nothing really sticks out, honestly. So with that, we will be going over the first mission or world mission today. Now, I did say I was going to use battleships, but I figured that might get boring if I just keep using battleships. So we're going to use a tier 4 cruiser. So as mentioned earlier in yesterday's video, for the first video missions, the 1-1 all the way to 1-4, we'll be using tiers 3 and 4 cruiser ships. For the 2-whatevers missions, we're going to use 5 and 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10 respectively. So we can kind of get a little bit of a mix. So I'm not just completely ruffle stomping everyone with a tier 10 at the very beginning. So it makes it a little bit of a challenge, but also shows you that even if you have low tier ships, you can still beat these missions. As I mentioned earlier, I beat most of these, like all the way up to the 3.0s or whatever like that, with Kawachi. So it's not impossible if you can do it with Kawachi. Alright, so we're going to use Kazuruhu today. We are choosing her because she has really fast shells, and she has hydroacoustic search. And that's going to be very important because even at the very start of these missions, you're going to be facing off against a lot of Japanese destroyers. Now, all of these missions are going to be American ships versus Japanese ships. So you're going to have some allied American ships, and then all of the enemy ships are obviously going to be Japanese. So if you know the strengths and weaknesses of said Japanese ships, you can use that. So for example, the destroyers are fast but not very good in gunfights, and they have really good torpedoes though. And don't yeah, be careful about the torpedoes because just like in events, these ships, even though they're bots, will launch the torpedoes. So 1-1 Vila Bay battle. It is pretty much just it was like a Langley and some Mayhans versus like 2 Kageros and 2 Fubukis. So it's really easy. Even if you have like a tier 1 cruiser, I would still think you'd be able to complete it. I do think there's actually a little bit of an intro, so we're going to see what that is all about. All right, and here is the game. So we have the Langley and what was it, like 6 Mayhans or something like that. And it does say Shion Tsuyu's, and we're also, as soon as the little recording or skit there starts, the game starts as well. Also, don't be too worried about that. We're gonna immediately pop our Hydro just in case. And let's start. So it's 2 Kageros and pretty much 2 Fubukis. Nothing too strong, especially for lower tier ships. Destroyers might have a little bit of an issue, but honestly I've been able to beat this mission with Tachibana, and that's not exactly a strong cruiser or destroyer. But definitely having a cruiser such as Kazuruhu with hydroacoustic search will definitely give you the advantage because you'll be able to see torpedoes and the destroyers once they're in their smoke screen. Alright, so there goes one. Now we're going to let the other team finish off the other one. It's a really, really quick mission. It gives you 20 minutes to do this mission. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes, honestly, though. There goes the next one. And with our railgun-like guns, we should be able to have this kill as well. And there we go. Look at that. 3 minutes, 5 seconds, and we are already able to win. And for the most of that, it was just a little recording at the beginning. You're not going to get a lot of rewards for these missions, mainly because they're not really real games, they're just bots. So don't be too surprised when your damage is trash, but also your credits, free XP, and just base XP are pretty low. I'm not quite sure if we should even go through the details, or actually our secondary battery even did a little bit of damage. But yeah, pretty straightforward, just 4 destroyers, and that's the first mission. If you fail this, I don't know what to say. So with that, that actually completes our video. And then tomorrow we'll be going over 1-2, which is Vila. So thank you for watching and take care.